Hello everyone, my name is Moritz Schlitter at Momoshly. I am one half of Team Ninja Thumbs, that is at Team Ninja Thumbs if you want to find us on Twitter. And together with Steve Salmon, we've made a game called Grabity, Robot Test Battles, and this is our business strategy. In this pitch, I will do a quick recap of our game, talk about our market expectations, how we will build a community for our game, how we want to utilize crowdfunding to fund our development for the coming year, talk about our milestones in the coming year, and talk about why we've entered the Kiwi Gamestarter and how we would utilize the budget provided through the Kiwi Gamestarter. So a quick recap. Grabity is a fast-paced arena physics brawler with gravity guns. And if I had to put that in other words, it's Super Smash Bros. With the ability to throw crates at your opponents. The core mechanic of our game is the ability to grab and shoot objects in the scene. That means you have to squabble with other players over these crates to shoot each other. However, Grabity is also a platformer, and therefore we made sure that all of the platforming mechanics do not interfere with the core mechanic. So any platforming mechanics you might expect from games like Super Meat Boy will be the same way you would expect them in Super Meat Boy, and therefore our core mechanic won't interfere with any of that. Other features that are in the game currently were developed through a lot of playtesting at our job before we got made redundant. So people's feedback was, I have troubles aiming while in the air, so we implemented a jetpack. Once we had the jetpack in, people were saying, I'm a bit of a target while I'm in the air, so we implemented a dash to evade incoming projectiles while in the air. Then we had the dashing mechanic, people enjoyed it, and we said, hey, it'd be fun if you could dash through your opponents while on the ground, or you could use the dash to stomp on top of your opponents. And all that goes back to the fact that this game is very intuitive and easy to learn. However, if you spend time on it, you can get better at it and gain an advantage over other opponents. Also, we have other popular mechanics such as the rocket jump, which is popularized through the 90s shooters like Quake or the Unreal games. Key features in our game, as I mentioned, is the fact that the ammunition in any level is shared between players. That means if there's only 3 crates left in the middle of the level, you have to squabble over them, and you have to make sure that you evade quick enough if they shoot at you. The levels in Grabity will be interactive, means that you don't only have to pay attention to what your opponent's after, but you also have to make sure that you don't stand under any traps or get squashed or fall into lava, that kind of thing. We also have weapon pickups in our game. The way weapons pickups works is the way any other grabbed object would work, but once you grab a weapon, it toggles the throwing mechanic into a shooting mechanic until the weapon is depleted. And if the weapon is depleted, you can throw that at your enemies as well. Power-up pickups will include health pickups, armor pickups, and damage amplifying pickups. So we'll have spawn locations in every level. So if the players learn these locations, they can gain an advantage over their opponents. Lastly, I'd like to mention that we already have a networked version of the game working. We're using at the moment a peer-to-peer net punch-through connection method. However, all the code was designed with dedicated servers in mind, so if the budget will allow for it, at some stage we will change to a dedicated server system. Our market expectations are based on other games that we found on Steam, such as Brawlhalla, Towerfall, Lethal League, and Gang Beast. These games are all relevant because they share similar tags with our games, such as action, fighting, platformer, multiplayer, indie, casual, and so forth. Brawlhalla is the odd one out because it's free, and it has 4 million owners, therefore. Towerfall, on the other hand, at $15 has 226,000 owners. Lethal League and Gang Beast both have 400,000 owners between $14 and $20. The key differences between the games on the right is that all of them are 4 players maximum, have simple aesthetics or retro aesthetics, and Towerfall being local multiplayer only, Lethal League has third-party tools for online multiplayer, and Gang Beast is only now gone into the online multiplayer beta. When I looked on Steam charts to see how these games perform against each other, you can see that Brawlhalla obviously is doing fantastically well, being free and online multiplayer. Lethal League is doing not so well, and that's because they use third-party tools to do online multiplayer. Gang Beast has post-release multiplayer, but it's still a fun game, and it has quite a few people playing. Towerfall, on the other hand, has completely dropped off the charts because it has no multiplayer support whatsoever. Grabity will be multiplayer at launch, engage casual and hardcore players, has a distinct target market, and is cheaper for backers who join us in early access or on the Kickstarter campaign. We have nice 3D graphics and diversity in our levels and include weapon and power-up pickups, as well as custom matches for up to 8 players. Based on that, we have market expectations of 150,000 to 300,000 copies, of which we can distribute 50,000 to 100,000 on our Kickstarter and during early access at a price point of 10 New Zealand dollars and 20 New Zealand dollars for the full release price over a period of 12 months. For community building, we'll use the usual channels like Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, and YouTube to do developer updates, to do our screenshot Saturdays, to have a Grabity Facebook page, the kind of things you would expect from an indie title. On top of that, we'll have to launch our Grabity game website for a dev blog, promote the Kickstarter, and for contact information. We want to contact content creators on YouTube, Twitter, and gaming review websites, so that when we distribute a developer build, we will give some of the keys to the content creators to review our game for the upcoming Kickstarter. For crowdfunding, we have looked at similar projects like the Diabotical game by the GD studio, who want to revive the fast-paced arena FPS. Our goal is to appeal to a similar audience of gamers who also enjoys the Mega Man or Super Smash Bros. Franchise. For our Kickstarter campaign, we'll work out a gameplay teaser trailer, a developer video, work out stretch goals and reward tiers. We will gain our initial backers from social media, as well as the audience of the content creators who have reviewed our game during the developer build. And this is to fund our development to early access and offer exclusive items and accessories. The milestones for the coming year is to release the developer build at the end of the year to promote the game and gather potential backers. To prepare a trustworthy Kickstarter campaign that will attract and engage the desired target audience. After launching the Kickstarter, we will spend time answering questions on Discord and give regular development updates. Towards the end of the year, we will go into early access to fund further development, engage with the community, and address bug fixes and content updates on a monthly schedule. At the end of the year, we want to take the game to PAX Australia to promote the launch and get some feedback. And at the start of 2008, we want to release the game and be available to continue on updates and support. Why have we answered the Kiwi Game Starter is because my understanding of making games was that you would make a game and then you would make profit. Since then, I've gained some experience in writing my own business strategy, doing some market research, budgeting, scheduling, and cost projection. The budget from the Kiwi Game Starter would be spent in the first sprint to work on a training mode, a single-player experience, a matchmaking interface, as well as our website to make the project look as good enough for backers to trust us to back it. And the second sprint will focus solely on the Kickstarter to run a successful Kickstarter next year to fund our development. Thank you for listening. Sorry for rushing at the end, and I'll try to answer any questions you might have for me now.